of David Seidman's beautiful pieces into a body painting look, and yeah, let's just get into the tutorial. So the first thing I'm doing is I'm sketching everything out. So I'm sketching out the heart, and I'm sketching out all of like the roots that are coming out of the heart. I think this might have worked a little bit better if I put the roots on top of the blue paint, but it also would have made the black roots kind of grayish. So that was my thought process behind, that was my cat, she sneezed, behind sketching out the roots first. So with my Mehron 38Q Paradise paint palette, I'm basically blocking in all the colors, so like the light blue in the background, the red of the heart, and then I'm going to do the black later of the roots once I'm done like putting all the details in for the heart. I've mentioned this before, but you guys will see me occasionally go in with a sponge and just kind of like tap out the paint. I do this a lot when I am, like I'll spread it out with the paintbrush and then I'll go in with a sponge and tap it out. And that is basically to make the paint just lay down more like evenly and not as patchy. With the Morphe James Charles Artistry palette, I'm taking Playground and I am just placing this down on all the blue areas. It looks quite patchy, but I'm going to go in with the white from the same palette and I'm going to put that on top, and it kind of evens it out a little bit. And then I take You're Kidding, which is like a red, and I'm just putting that down on top of the heart. It's just making the color look more opaque, and I also feel like, I don't know for certain, but I feel like it makes the eyeshadow just blend a little bit better than I'm going to be putting on top. And then I take Benny, and I start shading in the heart, just like around where it like bends and curves and where those roots are like constricting it. I'm just putting Benny in those areas, and then I'm taking the black and I'm just further shading in this heart and making it look more dimensional. With the same palette, I took B, which is like a bright yellow, and I'm starting the beginning stages of highlights, so I'm just putting this kind of everywhere. Wherever I want to like kind of puff out or look like it's protruding, I'm putting B down. With the iMagic cream paint palette, I took yellow first, and I'm just adding some highlights basically in the areas where I added the eyeshadow highlights, but I wanted them to look a little bit more intense, so I'm adding in these cream paint highlights. Once I was done going in with the yellow, I went in with the white, and I want this heart to look like wet, so I wanted the highlights to be a little bit extra intense. They kind of always are with my stuff because I just like highlighting stuff, but yeah, I just wanted it to look real shiny. And then I'm taking the vinyl liquid liner from NYX, and it's in the shade Hazy, and I'm basically doing some outlining around the heart. For a little bit of texture going on in this heart, I took a Vivid Fire and Vivid Petal, and I just did some little tappy, dotty bits all around the heart. By the way, guys, I highly recommend having some sort of a reference photo out whenever you're trying to do anything artistic. Like, it doesn't matter if it's body painting or makeup looks or anything. Print something out and look at it, or just look at it on your phone. Like, I'm looking at what I'm trying to recreate. I'm also looking at reference of a heart, so yeah, it just really helps. Anyway, then I'm going in with the NYX white liquid liner, and I'm just creating some really sharp highlights all around this heart, and this is going to give it some dimension to it, and it's just going to really make it look like it's a solid object on my chest. And now we're doing these roots. So I took the Mehron black paint, and I'm basically tracing over all of the roots that I already sketched in, but I'm also freehanding a lot of them. So when I'm freehanding them, or even when I trace them, like sketch them in initially, they're very like wiggly lines. They are not just, you know, like right angles or anything. They're very organic because the way that roots and plants and things grow. I also have some roots going around the heart, so it's like constricting it. So yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just giving some wiggly roots. The thing that I'm doing on my chin is, honestly, it looks like a beard, but it's supposed to be like, you know when you rip up a tree and it has like those roots that are initially like, they're like more shallow, but they're really, really thick? That's what I'm trying to sketch in there. And it basically just looks like a beard, so. But then I'm taking the NYX big ink liner and I am outlining my heart. I don't know if my heart that I'm sketching out is like even on the right side. I'm really bad with my left or my right, honestly. Is anybody else? Okay, so you could stop the roots here, but I wanted to give them some highlights because I've established this. I like to highlight the shit out of everything, even black roots. So I took the NYX foundation mixer in Deep, and I am just tapping some of that on top of the roots, and I also took the white one and did the same thing. And again, some more highlights with the NYX Gold Liquid Liner, and then also the NYX White Liquid Liner. I just did some very, like, not nearly as many with this, just some like little dots of highlights. Now we are finally onto my face. So I use a lot of primers. This is the Smashbox Primer Water. Spray that on, then I use the Make Forever Mattifying Primer, and then I use the Milk Makeup Blurring Primer. I also glued down my eyebrows, so that's why they look a little bit weird. But now we're gonna sketch on everything that's on the face. So I am sketching this in with the NYX White Eyeliner, and I'm trying to make this look like, well, I'm trying to recreate what I'm looking at, but I'm trying to make it look like there's like a, you know, like a jaw, part of a skull going on my jawline, but I'm also kind of trying to make it look like rocks, and I sketched in the little like sun that's happening. After all that, I'm laying down flat color with the Mehron paint. With the James Charles palette again, I'm basically doing the same thing that I did with the blue on my chest. I'm doing it with the blue on my face. So I'm going in with Playground, I'm laying that down, then I'm taking white, putting that down on top. It still looks hella patchy after this, but honestly, for like the sky that's happening in that area, it can look hella patchy. Like, it looks fine by the end, I swear. It looks a mess now, but ends up looking fine. But I'm also going in all the other areas, and I'm laying down corresponding eyeshadows, because again, I think it makes the eyeshadow that I put down for details and shadows and things to blend a little bit better. With the Smashbox Smoky palette, I took the like lighter-ish gray shade, and I'm starting to add in some shading to like that mountain range that's happening in this area. And then I took the black from the James Charles palette, and I did some deeper shading. And I also did a little bit of shading where like the ground, which is what this like reddish brown thing is, I think. I added some shading there where the mountain and the ground connect. And then again, I took that same like grayish, lightish grayish shade from the Smoky palette from Smashbox, and I'm starting to be getting shading to the teeth rock things that are happening around my mouth. With the black again from the James Charles palette, I'm just adding some even deeper shading to the teeth rock things on my jaw area. And then again, guys, we're just just shading with varying, just 50 shades of gray from this Smashbox Smoky palette. It just got all gray in it, and we are just adding even more further shading to areas of my face, or my jaw in particular. Okay, and then my beloved NYX foundation mixers. I took the deep one and I'm just starting to outline everything. And then the beginning stages of highlights with the NYX foundation mixer in white. With my NYX white liquid liner, I'm just doing some more highlights, guys. I highlight the shit out of everything. But I'm basically doing this all over, mainly though in this skull part of my jaw, and then also in the mountain part near my ear. So yeah, and I also took the NYX Vivid Bright and Vivid Halo, and I just did a little bit of taps of yellow where that like ground is connecting those two parts. Yeah, it just gives it a little bit of texture happening in that area. This is a NYX SFX cream paint, so I'm taking a beauty blender and I'm tapping it into that, and then I'm tapping it all around my face, and this is just giving it that cloud texture that I love painting. But yeah, so I'm doing this, and then I'm taking my finger and I tap it into the SFX cream paint, and then I tap it on certain areas of the sky, and it's beginning some highlights in those clouds. I also tapped it on my sun thing that I have going on just to make it even brighter. You guys have seen me paint clouds like 100 times, but I'm gonna be showing you again how I do it. So I take the iMagic cream paint palette. I'm using like a flat, round, tipped brush, and I am going into the blue first, and I'm just dragging some of that down. It's just creating a little bit more colors happening in those clouds. Not necessarily like shading, because it's kind of a bright blue, but I'm just taking that brush and I'm dragging it down. It just gives it that nice kind of fluffy, round texture that clouds have. Once I go in with the blue, then I'm going in with the white and doing the same thing, and this is just going to give you nice highlights to those clouds with the white. I also added a little bit of yellow to my sun because it just seemed like it needed it. It wasn't looking very sunny looking. And then I'm doing the trees on my face, and I feel like my trees are like the complete opposite of Bob Ross's trees. My trees look like sad little dead trees. But I'm using the black mehron paint. I'm basically using the same thought process that I used for the roots for the trees, where they're just kind of like squiggly organic shapes. Now for some leaves on these trees. So these leaves are basically just like little dashes that are next to the branches. I just wanted some just like the impression of leaves, you know, like not like fully detailed leaves, just the impression. And then we're doing those little V shapes because there's some birds in our sky. With the white foundation mixer, I am doing some highlights on my trees. So I'm doing this I'm not highlighting every single part of the black. I'm just doing kind of taps and dots of highlights in certain areas. With Midnight from the Naturally Pretty Cosmetics palette, I just added some like darkness to the sky. I honestly ended up regretting this a little bit. I just think that it made, I don't know, I just didn't like how it ended up looking, but I just thought that my sky needed a little bit, it just looked a little cheery for like the constricting heart thing that was happening on my chest. So that was my thought process behind adding the dark blue there, but I tried to lighten it up a little bit with some more of that cream paint, the white cream paint. With the NYX Vivid Bright and Vivid Envy and Vivid Escape, I put some dots of highlights on each one of my leaves. So when in doubt, or when I'm in doubt, I tend to throw glitter on everything, so that's what I did. I wasn't really liking this guy, so I says, let's try to cover it up with some glitter. So I threw some like chunky ass glitter all over. I don't know if this was a good choice, but it was a choice. So our sun needed to be a little bit more highlighted, so I just basically outlined it with the NYX white liquid liner, and then I took the Essence Princess Mascara and I put that on my lashes, and I put some falsies on, and I threw a wig on, and that was the finished look, you guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I don't necessarily know if I like how this turned out, but if you guys liked it, like this video. If you like this video, subscribe. It makes me happy, and hope you guys are having a beautiful day. Bye!